a smile I don't have to fake. I wanna think about what matters, not what others have to say. So let the rain wash away this pain. Let me feel what I need to feel. Find a way to be you. Find a way to see truth. We live our lives for others, not the other way around. We're asked to stay quiet, but that only brings us down. But I wanna get to know my demons. I want them to get to know me. They took all this away, and I never learned a thing. Let the rain wash away this pain. Let me feel what I need to feel. Find a way to be you. Find a way to see truth. Find a way to be you. Find a way to see truth. I wanna wake up with a smile, wake up feeling good. Don't wanna wait till tomorrow, I'm done being scared, scared of who I am. Don't wanna wait till tomorrow, don't wanna wait till tomorrow. Find a way to be you. Find a way to see truth.
Good morning, CULERS. It is World Cup time. Not a lot of Barcelona news to cover, but you know what? We're here. Zip. We're wearing our USA hat. We're going to have some good conversation, all right? Welcome, Stash Squad. Welcome, CULERS from all around the world. We're going to do an open Q&A, whatever you want to discuss. We'll go over some World Cup results, some fixtures coming up. Of course, we want to keep tabs on where the Barcelona players are, how they're performing, but for the most part, I just wanted to catch up with you folks, all right? When I skip the live streams of Wake Up in Barca, when we don't have the Barcelona live matches for me to do the commentary, I don't get to connect with the Stash Squad. I feel it. I feel the lag. So we're here. I'm glad to have you. Make sure you drop a like before we get things going. And with that out of the way, let's kick things off the right way, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
All right, all right. Hello, my friends. How's everybody doing? I want to catch up with you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be part of the conversation. Get your questions in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. How are you feeling if your country's in the World Cup? How things going so far? How are the nerves? USA, of course, is playing later today. We're about 4 hours, a little bit less than 4 hours away from kickoff for USA versus Wales. A huge opening match for USA. We're in a group with Iran, England, and Wales. Wales has to be a win. Iran, despite currently losing 6-1 to England with like a few minutes of stoppage time left. I think I still have that window open, actually. Yes, I do. There's about 2.5 minutes left. England up 6-1. I'll go ahead and close that out. I don't think I'm going to need that anymore. Anyway, folks, so we can talk World Cup. We can talk Barcelona news. Whatever's on your minds. And if nothing comes up, I'll jump over to Twitter. I'll see what kind of news is happening. But today's going to be more of an informal episode. As we are in World Cup time, I've been taking it easy in terms of content. And I know some of you have noticed and given me some love and support and some encouragement in taking that much needed break. So thank you all very much. I do appreciate you. Let's turn and see who we got in the chat. Again, if you're watching on TikTok, if you want the full experience, swipe over, click the link in my bio. That'll get you over to the Undefeated Mustache on YouTube channel. Otherwise, stay where you're at. I see we got Cheap Slime in the house coming in first. What's up, dude? Good morning to you. Greg's with us. Hello. Ernest, good morning. Inner Beast, Grand Rising, back to you, sir. We got one of my stash mods, Ayush, in the house. Hello and good morning. Cheap Slime says, good morning. You're doing fantastic. Hope you're doing fantastic today. Thank you. I'm feeling good. Feeling ready for USA to take on Wales. And then I know we got some other Barcelona players in action today. Frankie de Jong, Memphis Depay. We could talk about some Memphis Depay rumors while we're at it. But Netherlands taking on Senegal here in just about an hour, actually. That match is going to be pretty important for yesterday's results. Qatar and Ecuador. Ecuador with a big win. I think a lot of folks were expecting a better performance from Qatar. I know if you were listening to the Engine Room podcast, which is me, Pablo, Buga, and Diego. Sorry, Diego. Brain fart for a second. And Diego, all talking the world of football. If you listen to that episode, if you watch some clips, you know, we were anticipating Qatar to do a little bit better than what they did. What did it end up being? 2-0, 3-0, something like that? Let's jump over and look at those results from yesterday. Let's get all these going. 2-0. It was 2-0. Yep. Both from Enner Valencia. They had the early one called off. There was a... What? Oh, of course. You know, I'm not even upset because I haven't live streamed in like 5 days, a week, something like that. So I'm not even upset. Reset the counter. Mistakes are going to happen. If you're watching on TikTok, you didn't see that. But mistakes happen. Anyway, I'm not here to be perfect, folks. All right. Sometimes I got to remind myself. Not here to be perfect. I'm not here to necessarily even be a journalist. All right. I'm here to connect with my fellow culés, bring a community together from around the world, support the badge, support each other. That's what we do here on this channel. Mistakes and all. It happens. Anyway, Ayush, thank you so much for updating the links. You can see in the chat there, we've got a link for the podcast, the Engine Room. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Spotify. The Engine Room. It's everywhere. Everywhere you need us to be, we should say. Anyway, so that, as I get back to this, was a little bit controversial. I think a lot of people were talking about the possibility of Qatar maybe influencing the match in other ways than just on the pitch. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that too much. But Ecuador looking strong in this one. Looking quite strong indeed. It's funny how the opponent matters, though. You know what I mean? Ecuador not going to look as strong against Netherlands and Senegal. I'm still thinking it's going to be Netherlands 1, Senegal 2, Ecuador 3 at this point, and Qatar bottom. I was, as you heard on the podcast, if you were listening, we were all kind of debating Netherlands 1 and then maybe Qatar 2 or Senegal 2. But after that performance from Qatar against Ecuador, who's supposed to be the weakest in the group, don't like it. Don't like it at all. As I mentioned before, Senegal and Netherlands They're going to be playing. I don't think lineups are out yet. Yeah, they're going to be playing here in just about an hour, which lineups should be out. If they're kicking off in an hour, I mean, am I crazy? Am I drinking crazy pills? Maybe it's on Twitter. Perhaps it'll be on Twitter. Let's duplicate this because I got some things up that I don't want to lose. And we'll go home and we'll go Netherlands. See if we can get a lineup here. 14 minutes ago, Frankie. This looks close enough. I know this is not official, but this is probably what we're looking at. Look at those center backs. That is a strong side, you guys. Ake, Van Dijk, De Ligt. Strong center back pairing. Not so much for Blind. Dumfries is fine. I like this midfield. De Jong, Bergwijn, and Gakpo. Bergwijn getting the start over Memphis Depay here. Interesting. We'll see how the match goes. I think you could easily take out Blind, throw in Memphis, change this to a 4-3-3. That's a possibility. But Frankie de Jong getting the start against Senegal. We'll see what Senegal's lineup is going to be like. They don't have Mane. Mane's injured. That's a big deal. Interby says Frankie starting, Depay on the bench. Yes, indeed. Marcos, how we doing, sir? Says, hey, Mr. Mustachio, finally I see you live. Always watch the videos after you upload, and I see your comments, Marcos. So I do appreciate it. And that goes for everybody else, too. If you're watching on replay, leave the comments. I see them. I'll click the hearts. I may not respond to all of them, but I do my best to keep the conversation going, particularly if you ask a question, looking for more opinion, looking for clarification, or if you drop your own opinion. Happy to hear all of it. So, Marcos, I do appreciate you, buddy. Glad to have you in here. Rama says, I hope my country, Senegal, could get a win today or a tie. Okay, Rama, watching from Senegal. Let's see if we can find a lineup for Senegal here. Oop, almost knocked over my coffee. Please don't do that. That would just be a disaster. Anyway, I'm an idiot. Let's go latest. And can we get a lineup? Ba-na-na-na-na-na. This looks pretty good. Edouard Mendy, Koulibaly, Cissé, Diallo, Sabali, Mendy, Kouate, Ganagay, Giata, Sarr, and Dia. Still a pretty good team here, folks. Like, I'm definitely not counting them out. I don't think they're going to beat Netherlands here. However, will they beat Qatar? Will they beat Ecuador? I would say yes. I would say probably. I think it's a strong possibility. Predictions-wise, I'll go. This is tough, actually. I'll go 2-1 Netherlands. I think that could happen. Maybe Netherlands get an early goal. Senegal have to press. They maybe. I bet Netherlands get 2 before Senegal get 1. I'm going Netherlands 2-1, and Netherlands score both before Senegal comes and gets 1 in the back of the net. That's what I'm thinking for that one. Then, folks, then we have USA. USA Wales. We'll talk about that one next. Marco says, England's strong. Let's see what happens against USA. Yeah, we'll get into that in just a minute here. See what's going on conversationally on TikTok. I don't know why people are acting like Poland are a good nation besides Robert Lewandowski. Poland has nothing. That is not true. They have, what's his name? Zelensky. They have Cash. They have, I'm forgetting somebody else too. Poland have more than Lewandowski. I'm not so sure about your comment there, and I think Mexico are going to have their hands full, to be honest. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Interesting matchup indeed. England steamrolling Iran. Oh, that's cool. They did get a second one. 13 minutes into stoppage time. Good for them. Good for them. Iran's going to be tough. Even though England beat them 6-2, that does not mean USA is going to walk over them. That does not mean Wales is going to walk over them. I still think that is going to be a tough fixture for USA on the final day. Excuse me, burps. On the final day of World Cup group stage. Ugh. Got a little bit of a cold going on, folks. I'm trying to not acknowledge it because I am on vacation. I have Thanksgiving coming up this week. It's my favorite holiday. And if I have a cold, if I'm all congested and I can't taste that deliciousness the turkey, the stuffing, the pies. Get out of here, dude. I'm going to be upset. As you can see, my eyes are a little puffy. Right? I sound a little bit groggy. Drinking too much coffee. I need to stay hydrated, get some juice, get some Gatorade. But I don't want to accept it. Anytime I get a little bit sick, I'm like, no, I'm not really. No, still go exercise, still put in all the hours doing the streaming and the work and then this and then that. You're not really sick. Idiot. Sometimes you don't want to accept it, especially when there's fun stuff happening. I'm going to, we'll see if I live stream any of the USA match. The place that I'm going to watch it might have a good enough internet connection that I can go connect to the Wi-Fi and do a little bit of streaming from the mobile. It won't be play-by-play action. It'll be more just the environment because we're going to be out at the pub for the USA match. But right now I'm just debating, am I sick or am I just tired? Because I would like to go to jiu-jitsu here at... I know I'm just rambling, but that's part of it, folks. I've been doing a lot of thinking about the direction that this channel's going, what kind of content we have going on here, and I think for a little bit, for maybe the last few months, maybe the better part of this season, I've been a little bit too focused on the numbers, a little bit too focused on making sure it's a polished program, and I think strayed away from the fact that this is about community, this is about connecting, and so there's times when I won't show up for Wake Up in Barça because I'm like, I don't have anything prepared, I don't have enough news to talk about. And I forget, it's about the hang. It's about connecting with folks, all right? So on this channel, I think you're going to start to see maybe more beyond Barcelona. Maybe we start getting into the wider football world. Maybe we start getting into some mixed martial arts. Who knows? But I'm evaluating where this channel is going. You're not going to miss any of the Barcelona content. I'm not taking away from any of that. We're still going to do Wake Up in Barca 3 days a week. We're still going to do the live stream for all the matches. All right? You're going to get more content is what I'm thinking. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Inner B says, trying to manifest USA getting a draw against England. Knock on wood, England has never beaten USA in a World Cup. Just saying. Just saying. Only Juan, what's up, brother? Starting the USA chant. I love it. Nishit says England are on a rampage right now. Fair. It looked all too easy for them against Iran there. Iran played a compact defense, and England just went through them like a hot knife through butter. Easy peasy for England. Marcus Rashford came on the pitch for like 2 minutes and put one in the back of the net. It was that easy. That easy. I see some folks shouting out some Polish players. Yeah, Poland are not a team to look past by any means. Luis, I appreciate the shout out. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Marco says, I want Poland to go home in the group stage. I want Lewandowski to rest for Barca. I do feel a little bit selfish sometimes, having my wants and my desires and the outcomes that I want influenced by what I want for Barcelona. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of the same for Ansu Fati. I don't want Spain to overuse Ansu Fati in this tournament and then we have him take a step backwards for the second half of the season. Same goes for just about any player. I want them to have a good World Cup. Human to human, I don't want to hope too much that players, save themselves or don't get a lot of playing time or whatever. I hope every player plays up to their ability and takes advantage of the opportunities that they have. We'll say that. Good vibes all around, all right? Positivity. Trying to not to be so judgmental. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Brian, how we doing, sir? Says, referring to England match, says, to be fair, it is Iran. Yes, indeed. Brian says, Poland will probably get grouped. What does get grouped mean? Does that mean they are eliminated in the group stage if you get grouped? I've never heard it used as a term before, but I like that. Greg says England are vulnerable to pace in behind, especially Maguire. When a pacey player runs at him, he panics. Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't know if we have pace on the wings. I don't know how much pace we're going to have going through centrally, though. I'm thinking Ferreira is probably going to be our starting striker, unless Greg Berhalter goes with a little curveball and starts Weah. We've got Pulisic, Reyna, Weah, Aronson, who can also play in the midfield as an attacking mid, and then we also have Ferreira. Those are the 5 attacking players that are going to get the most playing time. Who Greg starts with, I'm not sure. It could be Aronson in the midfield over Musa. You might see Tyler Adams, McKennie, and Aronson as opposed to Adams, McKennie, Musa. Up front, you might see Reyna not get the start. It's very possible. We also might go with more of a 4-4-2, depending on our opponent. I think we have a lot of flexibility. And by we, I mean Team USA, of course. I think we got a lot of flexibility. I think our strongest lineup is probably Pulisic, Reyna, Weah in the attack, Adams as the pivot, McKennie, probably McKennie as a double pivot, actually. I would go Adams, McKennie, double pivot, Aronson as an attacking mid, Pulisic and Reyna alongside him, and those 3 can just fluid wherever you want across the midfield because all 3 can play anywhere, left side, right side, down the middle, and then have Tim Weah up top. Plays for Lille, plays as a forward, typically on the wing, but can play some striker. I think his pace, his power, his confidence. I think Tim Weah should be our number 9. That's what I'm thinking, folks. We'll see. We'll see. Other thoughts, other questions, folks. This is a open Q&A. Luna says, no Yunus Musa in your best 11. It's close. It's very close. I could go either way. Aronson, Musa, I think both give you very similar qualities. They're a little spark plug. They're tenacious. They can dribble through players. They can find the passes. Really versatile attacking midfielders, I'll say. So I could go Musa. I could go Aronson. It's really just a question of, is he going to start a traditional striker, meaning either Josh Sargent or Ferreira, or is Greg Berhalter going to throw Weah up top at the number 9? Is he going to go a false 9 with a Reyna or a Pulisic? Is he going to go a 4-4-2 with Sargent and Ferreira up top in a 2 and have maybe Pulisic on the left and Weah on the right and Aronson and Reyna both on the bench while Adams and McKennie take the middle in a 4-4-2? There's a lot of possibilities, my friends. A lot of possibilities. I'm hoping Greg Berhalter gets this one right because there's so many possibilities, there's a lot of ways to get it wrong as well. Knock on wood. I don't even want to speak that into existence. I think Greg's going to get it right. I think we beat Wales. I think we have a tough loss against England, but then I think we do enough to get the win against Iran. I hate going into that match thinking that we'll have a win against Wales, a loss against England, and a draw would put us in a situation where it would come down to goal differential, and I don't want that. I don't like needing points against Iran, but I don't see us getting a draw against England. I don't. And anything less than a win against Wales puts us in a terrible position for the rest of this tournament. You're saying Maguire got a concussion. Well, that actually hurts USA, I think, ironically. Hopefully he heals up, but if it's a concussion, he's out for the tournament. Excuse me. Greg says, is McKennie more of a box-to-box midfielder? He absolutely is, but depending on who our opponent is, I don't want to necessarily leave Adams solely in that pivot role. Excuse me. Nope, thought I was going to burp. Didn't come out. I don't want to leave him solely in that pivot role. I might want to bring McKennie in alongside just to add some support there. But it depends on if we go Musa or Aronson. Again, lots of options. Greg again asks, who's your dark horse for this World Cup? And you can't say USA. No, USA are not my dark horse. I would say Portugal, actually. I would go with Portugal. I think Portugal's starting 11 is... you have a world-class player in every position. It's pretty incredible. They don't have the depth that some other squads have, but Portugal's starting 11 is a world breaker, an absolute world breaker. Ronaldo, okay, you got Ronaldo. You got Rafael Leao. You got Bruno Fernandes. You got Renato Sanchez. You've got Bernardo Silva. You've got Ruben Diaz. You've got João Cancelo. You've got I'm missing a few, I'm sure, but those are the primary highlights in their starting 11. Absolute world breakers through the midfield and in forward. Ayu's shouting out Tyler Adams for the captaincy. Absolutely well-deserved youngest captain at the World Cup. Of course, of Barca, we'll see, buddy. We'll see. You can have your thoughts. We'll see. Marcus Dalton says, João Felix in the starting 11. That's right. That's another one. Another Portuguese player. Maybe? Depends on what formation they go with. Because I know João likes to play centrally, but I'm assuming it's going to be Ronaldo central, Leao on the left, maybe Bernardo Silva on the right, because that leaves then some space in the midfield to have Fernandes and a couple of holding midfielders, Renato Sanchez and Vitinho, whatever his name is, plays for PSG. I'm not super familiar, but maybe. Ayer says, you know that if you watch the team preview in 60 seconds. Let's go. We do have, again, on the engine room, shout out to the engine room. We've done all 32 teams, 60-second previews. I think we've got just a few more to upload. But anybody that has played or is about to play, we've got those up and running. Looked like there was something on my hat. I think it's just the light reflecting off of it. Anyway. Dan Bronco says, are you watching the World Cup? There's nothing going on right now, but I have been watching. Yes, indeed. T. Ficca says, I can't wait to watch USA and Canada go through the group stage. I think Canada is going to shock some people. I brought that up again on the podcast, Engine Room Podcast. I think Canada is going to shock some people. I really do. Gray says, do you think the World Cup holder curse will happen again to France? Is it that they don't get out of the group stage? Right? Is that what that is? I don't know. That's gonna be tough. If we look at France, the group that France is in, as I pass them up, there we go. You'd be asking Australia or Tunisia to really outperform expectations. Could Denmark top the group? Sure. Will Tunisia or Australia upset France and get that second spot? I don't think so. I don't see that happening. Not for me. Not for me, anyway. Marco says Messi deserves the World Cup. We're fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. If you look at the brackets, the way it breaks down, if it goes as predicted, Argentina are going to have to face Brazil in a semifinal, and then potentially either England or France or maybe Spain even in the final. So it'll be tough. It'll be very tough. And I'm going to be a little bit torn when USA gets second in the group, get placed against Netherlands in the round of 16. USA beats Netherlands. You're all going to disagree with me, but I'm telling you right now, if USA gets second in this group and Netherlands tops their group and we're matched up in the round of 16, USA wins that match. Okay? You heard it here first. Anyway, that will put us up against Argentina in the quarterfinal. It'll break my heart, but just knowing that USA aren't going to win the final, I will concede my priorities to Messi. Messi will go on to the semifinal to face Brazil. And then in the upper right corner of the bracket, it's going to be England. It's going to be France. Those are the two most likely to get to a semifinal on the other side. And then the bottom right corner of the bracket, you might have Germany, you might have Spain in there going up against either a Portugal or a Uruguay, something like that. You know, lots of action, folks. Let's quickly jump over to Twitter here, see if there's any news we need to discuss. There's some reports around Frankie de Jong and some things he said here. Journalists are going to be journalists, you know what I mean? You got to have news. So I would not read too much into this Frankie de Jong situation. I think, as it's stated here, he's very happy. I know that a salary negotiation is going to have to take place. I think with everybody else restructuring their salaries and some of these youngsters with the contracts that they have, Frankie de Jong all of a sudden looks overpaid. But you know what? I think we'll come up with something reasonable, and I think he stays. I think he's going to be part of Barcelona's future for sure. Speaking of Barcelona's future, a couple of World Cup updates. Ronald Araujo is doing better than expected, but no risks will be taken, meaning he might not get any playing time in these group stage matches. He might just be saved for if and when Uruguay get into the knockout rounds. It'll be another couple of weeks before those matches happen. So you never know. A little rest, a little relaxation could make it. And then we've got, as Rashad Rahman mentions here, our star boy filling in for the injured Jose Gaya. A bummer. You never want to see somebody miss out on the World Cup due to injury, but it does open up the opportunity for the young Alejandro Balde to join the Spanish squad. So the question is going to be, now that there's no Gaya, who was probably going to be the preferred left back for Valverde, excuse me, or Luis Enrique, excuse me, Valverde, get out of here, for Luis Enrique. Now with Balde coming in, I know he's last pick, but now that he's there, could he get a start? Maybe. We'll see. I think that's a question to keep an eye on, but I'm definitely very excited for this youngster's future. And if nothing else, great experience just to go to the World Cup. If he gets any playing time, that's an investment for the future. It's going to help him reach his potential. It's going to help him when he returns to Barcelona as well. That'll be good stuff. Anyway, folks, I think that's going to just about wrap it up. I do appreciate you coming and spending some time with me. Again, I know there's not a lot of Barcelona news going on right now, so it was a good hang. I appreciate your questions that we had going on in the chat. Outside of that, folks, we are not going to do a live stream on Wednesday. I'm going to be traveling for the holiday. We've got Thanksgiving on Thursday. Like I said, one of my favorite holidays, if not the favorite. So I'm going to be traveling, going to be spending some time with family. I'll pop in. I'll say hello. I might do a quick mobile check-in at some point during the week. Friday is up in the air. We might do a live stream on Friday. I will be back. I will be here in the studio. It's just a question of how am I feeling, and do we want to do a live stream before USA faces England? So we'll see. What I'll say is subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the action here while we're a little bit sporadic in our schedule, while we're kind of taking it easy since there's no Barcelona football. All right. So once Barcelona returns on December 31st, we'll be back to live streams. We'll be back to Wake Up in Barca 3 days a week, covering all the Barcelona news. We'll get back on our regular schedule, and we'll keep building this channel out. All right. Subscribe, turn on notifications, come hang out with us when we're live. Drop a like if you're enjoying the content. If you're watching on TikTok, click those hearts. I do appreciate you. And other than that, folks, I hope everyone enjoys the World Cup. I'll talk to you in a couple of days. Make sure you check out the Engine Room podcast. Me, Pablo, Diego, Buga. I said Diego, Buga. All having conversations about the world of football. We got World Cup predictions, shorts, all that jazz. So if you miss me, make sure you check me out on the Engine Room. Other than that, high fives and hugs for whoever wants them. I hope you have a wonderful day. Go USA. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride. Mwah.